Good morning, Cancer. Welcome to Rocktober 3rd, 2024. Happy Halloween, prematurely. This channel is dedicated to the zodiac sign of Cancer. This is your tarot diary. What we're going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a Celtic cross. Kind of curious to see what kind of energies we find ourselves in today. So this is really great because what we get at the center here of your reading today, Cancer, is we get the Chariot, Triumph of Light. This is you on a soul level. Past couple weeks we've been talking about, a lot of getting the emotion, getting the mental space, getting them into alignment. And I think today with that card coming down in the center, I feel you've kind of got a mastery of that. Like you've done the work. It's like in the past, when I started this channel, which is a very young channel, thank you for joining me. We started with a lot of 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords. This is, self-imposed thinking that's limiting you. Then we kind of moved into more of an emotional sphere, less on the thought plane. But what I see here now is it's all, evened itself out. Like you know who you are, you put a stamp on it. I think today you woke up feeling really, really powerful about yourself and ready to marshal that will. King of Swords. Graduating out of like self-limiting belief as well as, trying to throw spaghetti at a wall, hoping something works out. I think you know who you are, and I think you're ready to direct your course of action. What we have below you is the Hermit. So this could only have been achieved by going inward and doing that. Sometimes too in our minds, we look at the things of the external and it's always sort of a test. It's like, how much of your brain can I affect? And it's only our brains. It's not the external itself, but we can get attached to things outside of us that can really kind of run our mind. So I think what's happened is you've had a little bit of time to kind of just get that off of you so that you can know your own mind and know your own desires without letting the external kind of push you to and fro. What we get behind you is death. This is recent past, and death showed up too yesterday. I believe it was the crossing card to a Princess of Pentacles. Princess of Pentacles wanting to start a journey yet not quite ready to do so, but the death card here says, and especially with that Chariot, whatever it is you've been reluctant on starting, today is the day I feel you are ready to begin. And we get that, at the top of the deck we have the Princess of Wands, or at the top of the spread here. Princess of Wands. Don't be afraid to make any mistakes as you move forward. Adjustments may need to be required, but I think that's just par for the course. That's anything in life, and I think you're game for that. Whereas sometimes too, I feel with the Princess of Pentacles, because Pentacles is such a, lawyer business type thing, right? You need it to be, what can happen is things have to be things need to round their edges, and what can happen is a certain degree of perfectionism. I like to call the Princess of Pentacles more of the paralysis of analysis type card. Things need to be just a certain way before I can move forward, and therefore no movement happens. And I think today with the Chariot, you're ready to just bust the dam open. So we get the Princess of Wands up top here. You're ready to begin. And I think you also have a certain degree of excitement. And I think, too, Cancer, whatever it is in the past that you wanted to have happen because you want it to be a certain way, I think you've come to a firm understanding here with this King of Swords Chariot. Whatever you want, you already are. So this Princess of Wands is also telling you, if you got to make a mistake, make it big, but make it big because it's your mistake. You know what I mean? You can make a mistake hoping for an outcome, and then it becomes this, oh, if only it would have been like this then. But if you already know who you are and you have no real aim, it's just fun and for free. One, there is no such thing as mistakes, but if you do make a mistake, you kind of just laugh at yourself because you're like, yeah, I did that. So don't be afraid to shine that light and just move forward confidently. And I think, too, there's also a very big understanding of just one foot in front of the other, enjoying the journey. What I see before you is the Five of Cups, came out in the reverse. I don't really honor reversals all the time. Today I think I will, though, because we only have two, so perhaps these two do have something to say. But basically, this, upright, Lord of Loss of Pleasure, you have the Three Cups spilled, and sometimes what that card is like nudging us to do, and the upright is turn around, pick up the other two. Sometimes, too, though, that card can just indicate wallowing in the three and just being at a standstill. And the reason I want to read this reverse is because it ties in a lot better with this Princess of Wands, Chariot, King of Swords. I mean, this is all movement. The only one that isn't moving is the Hermit in the past. But what I'm seeing here, with the Five of Cups being in the reverse, is like you're really ready to come out of that. I think, too, what I've been seeing is a lot of Three of Swords, Five of Swords come up. So I think there's always been sort of a conflict of like, I want this, but I don't. I'm moving on, but I'm not. I think I can, but I can't. Type deal. And it's been very hard to reconcile that. They can kind of just keep you stagnant. It's kind of like, well, do I want the red house or do I want the green house? Well, the green house has this, but if I take the red house, it has that. And it's just like, there's no real... Do you see how both options would be good, but you're not making a choice because it's like, well, I just don't want to make the wrong choice. And there's God in everything, but both of those are a weaker side of God. There's no real God in that. The best thing to do is realize, yes, I have both choices. They may be conflicting, but I acknowledge both. And now we're just going to put one foot in front of the other and move forward. Because too much of that sort of like, is it this or is it that? I think we pray and we want, like a hand to come down from the sky and say, pick that one. But it doesn't really work that way. Finally, you just kind of have to realize like, well, I like this and that. Or I don't like this, I do like that. Or... yes, it's ridiculous, I feel this way, but that's how I feel, and I have to accept that. And then once there's a full acceptance, then you just start moving forward. And it's, like I said, it's not a big bang, it's not anything, it's just one foot in front of the other, and then the universe can start to play out. Because sitting and thinking is an activity unto itself, which breeds more sitting and thinking. So I think you've sort of come to a real... understanding of who you are and a real understanding of the polarity that exists within, and more than an understanding is an acceptance of. And that's what moves us forward. Judgment, primal fire. This is coming out in the reverse state, and what we get, in the traditional Rider-Waite, it's all the souls coming up. I'm seeing a fireplace kind of, and just this primal fire coming within. I think too, once you can accept the polarity of ourselves, that maybe, yeah, sometimes I've got 3 cups upside down and then sometimes I have 2 upright. It's not trying to fix that. Sometimes I've done this in a tarot reading. You want to put a button on it. You want to come out with a good, positive, happy ending because that's what Hollywood told us it is. But that's not reality. That's not life. It's so funny. I'm reading a book right now talking about going to LA and for a city that can produce, so many dreams, the actual structure of the city itself is not dreamy. It's very matter of fact. But of course it would be, because if you're going to be the one producing the dream, you need to have structure. So I'm not faulting LA or anything like that either. So I guess what I'm saying here is you do have the fire and the acceptance of, yes, it's both this and it's that, but using that to kind of be what pushes you forward, an acceptance of both, that it can be both this and that, and using both to throw both on the fire to kind of gain a forward momentum. I just sort of see like a circle forming around you, and that this circle is just going to keep moving out. Because the other thing we have to think about here with the water signs, a lot of the power with water signs isn't in the directness, it's more in the circular. Think of the ocean wave. Nobody's going to tell me an ocean wave isn't powerful, but that is actually how it works until it hits the shore. The shore is the one that goes like this. But if you're dealing in water, I had a long time, because I do a lot of different artistic things, and it would be like, why don't you just pick one? And it's like, because that just feels very unnatural. But I found over time, and I used to shun myself for that, like, why can't I just pick one? But what I found over time is you have picked one, and that one is you, and you're doing all of this, so you just keep putting it out. We watch television, we think this person's known for just one particular thing that they do, and it's like, actually, that's not an accurate depiction of a human being whatsoever. Humans have a lot of different things that they do, and it's all that. This guy, woman you're seeing on TV, that's one aspect of them. You know what I mean? So this fire is within you. You have the 6 pentacles. This is the environment. Perhaps these pentacles are the pentacles around you. I sense a new sense of renewed faith with this Chariot here, like you're ready to move forward. So I think you're focusing more on what you can give rather than what you can get out. That is also speaks to sort of the mastery of what's going on around us, not letting it, interfere with our mind. Whenever I am in need of something, that's when it starts to control me. Whenever I realize, look, I don't need it, I have more than enough. Hence the cliched gratitude list. That's when you start giving out, and that's when the circle around you gets even more powerful, and the universe can start, coming in however it wants. Hopes and fears, 7 of Pentacles keeps showing up. This speaks a lot to, I think, of just the fear to step out, the fear to just accept things exactly how they are and then take a step forward. I don't know if there was something you were really hoping for with this 5 of Cups, Hermit, and Death in the past. I think you have a full acceptance to just let sleeping dogs lie and let the situation be what it is and move forward. It's kind of like one time I was going through a breakup, and there's always a tendency, this was many years ago, but whenever that happens, it can be really shattering, and there can be a tendency to want to dwell on it, and yeah, a person does, you're human, so a person does that for a minute, but then there is this point where it's like, look, you gotta start going out. I know you don't want to go out, I know you don't want to do this, but the minute I would go out, I'd find I'd gained a new power, a new, like, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be okay, and then that started to be what built. And then as soon as that wave got big enough, then they call you back, and I want to hang out again, But and what you do with that is up to you. But I'm kind of wondering if you didn't go through something like that, and it's just been a minute of like looking, but I wanted it this way, but I think you're finally ready to just start moving forward. And I think what's come out of the I wanted it this way is you know what you want, and it might not be that situation that could provide that for you, nor should a new situation provide that for you. You should, knowing what you want is knowing who you are. What you want is who you are. So it's not like I want this, it's like I am this, and this is what I need to have come back to me in order to make things work. Because wanting is always an expression of lack, but knowing who you are is a declaration of come get it. And that's how we end you here, is on a King of Wands. And what the King of Wands is very known for, Prince of the Chariot of Fire. Well, the Queen of Wands is very good as far as networking, getting out, meeting new people, and making things happen, getting blood from a stone. King of Wands is very good at, like, again, kind of like this King of Swords, knowing what you got, getting a direct plan, becoming, Hollywood, becoming a structure for things to thrive in, getting that all set away, organized, so that the flame can come out. And this is what you're going to be doing, because the King of Wands is very good at getting other people in on their idea, getting other people attracted to their idea. This is a wonderful boss card. So that's kind of where his power is. It's kind of like when you hear a wonderful orator that just gets you hyped. That's sort of the deal. So you've got the basis to stand on. You've got the fire in the belly. You've got the acceptance of how things are. So there's not something keeping you sort of fractured, so to speak. That's such a harsh word to use, but it's hard to be this when you got this going on in your mind. So I think you've come into a very, like, you've quieted that noise. What's that saying you always hear? It's like, I'm not afraid of the storm, I am the storm type deal, right? Because you can't be the storm if you're afraid of the storm. So you're like, no, I'm both, yin and yang. Now you're ready to stand and just let all of this past judgment on a soul level be the torch that you carry outward. Because I think whatever you're coming out with, Cancer, going to be able to resonate with people on a soul level. Career-wise, what we get is the Emperor, and that really just speaks to everything that I just said. You might be deciding to go into business for yourself. You may have been going into, you see this a lot with, like, young businesses. So easy to look at people been doing this for 20 or 25 years and be like, then you look at where you start and you're like, I don't have that. You want to pack up your bags and quit. It's kind of like I heard an author talk about being in a picket line, a protest, with only like 5 people who show up, and just how ridiculous that feels. And just, nevertheless, you believe in what you're doing, and it's from those 5 that you get 6, that you get 9, that you get 10, because you believe in the cause. So you're backed up on a soul level. I mean, we get what? The Chariot, soul, Hermit, soul, death, soul. This other stuff is just the flashiness of the day. Here today, gone tomorrow. But this other shit sticks with you. And this is on a soul level. So you're looking for that soul work. So you could be going into business for yourself. You could also be looking for something in management, something a little bit higher up than what you were doing before. I think there was, before with this, 5 of Cups, you were either doing something you liked and then you got burned out on it, or else you were doing something that was beneath you because it was comfortable. And notice how we go here from the Princess of Wands being the crowning to the King of Wands. So that is a massive jump you're taking today. You're moving from just, I'm going to put it out here, to being like, I did it. So whatever steps you need today, I think today is a good, confident day for you to be moving forward. Also, stay clear and focused on the goal and what you want. If it doesn't stoke this, internal flame, don't do it. 6 of Wands, what we get here, as far as relationship goes. It came out in the reverse, and I think I am going to honor that for this card, because what I'm sensing here is this 5 of Cups. Something is in the past, and it needs to just be in the past. It doesn't mean it can't reform in the future, but there is no future for one that cannot forgive the past. And so what that would mean is not so much like I'm cutting it loose, You don't cut loose other human beings. What happens is you accept things, the situation for exactly what it is, and then do what is right for you. That is how to have total autonomy. So, because as long as I'm getting rid of them, well, they certainly have a lot of, it's evident in just the wording, how much power they actually have. So with this Hermit coming out in the past, I don't know if there's been some things you've needed to work on, a person, place, or thing that is in the past that you have to really let go of so that you can move forward and be your authentic self. But you're not letting go of them, you're just accepting things for what they are. And I think it's not very emotional. I think it's really, we got the Five of Cups in reverse. I think it's more just coming to terms, being at peace, and being like, okay. So, Six of Wands, relationships in the reverse. Whatever's in the past can welcome to come back, but it would be different now because you're different now. We also get here, we have two water signs. We have the Chariot, we have Death, Scorpio, Cancer. Virgo is in the past. Last Judgment, I'm going to assume that's fire, but I don't really know. If you know, leave it in the comment section. But I do see fire sign here, Princess of Wands, King of Wands. So you might be dealing with a Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. Leo specifically with that King of Wands. Could also just be another fire sign or a water sign that's in the past here with that Five of Cups and the Death Scorpio card. So looking for love, what could we say? Again, I talked yesterday about putting yourself out there. You might be a little nervous to do it, but I think by the end of the day, you're going to be feeling pretty confident. I did a Reiki video last night, and I was like, spirituality is great, and I love it, and it's everything because it literally is everything. Whatever happened to just going and having fun? Like, not everything is about the evil eye. Not everything is about cord cutting. Not everything is about, there's a certain thing to even just, sure, healing is great. We got to do it. But you also got to live. And you got to do things just for the fun of it. That's actually what we're supposed to do is live. So, that's how the universe can start to be creative again. Each activity we do is the activity unto itself. It will produce exactly what we are doing. So what I get here then in the outcome, we get the Nine of Wands in reverse. You're a wounded warrior, that's for sure. But I think you're kind of over the wounded part. I think you're just ready to be the warrior now. It's just like, this has been so heavy. Five of Cups in reverse. I'm just ready to let things go so that I can move forward. And this moving forward, by the way, you don't even have to be moving forward. This isn't a goal-orientated reading. It's not like go get. It's more just finding a real comfort within yourself. That's enough. Knowing that you are enough. We go outside. I've got a window out here. There's like trees and, plants. Plants don't sit and argue about whether or not they're plants. They're just plants. And they go through their own struggles. You've got different kinds of diseases that can hit plants. You've got, all sorts of insects and then invasive plants around. But this is all going, how they handle it so quietly. The plant doesn't say, oh, I'm this, but I want that. It's just like, no, I'm this. Yes, these are all factors, but that's what's making me even more than what I am. So you could just be a tree today, and that would be more than enough, because the plant doesn't strive. The tree does not strive. It grows, but it doesn't strive, and there is a very big difference between the two. Striving is trying to be something. Growing is knowing you are something. And yes, there are things that can kind of, there's trial within growth, I suppose, but it's taken in stride. Whereas striving is just very much, I need. And I think you're just coming out of that today. So that is what I have for you, Cancer. Thank you for joining me. If you like this video, click, and subscribe. Share it if you want. And I will see you tomorrow for your tarot diary. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.